that up. I'm gonna look that up. But first, I want to get into this because have y'all heard about the Sexy Red controversy?
No, give it to me.
Okay, so Sexy Red yesterday she celebrated MLK Day with this picture, and the internet went nuts. The internet
I seen that.
lost their mind, and someone I forget which person, but someone from the Martin Luther King's estate went nuts and told her to take it down. Told her to take it down. Told her to take it down. Big Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
I love it. I love her nasty ratchet ass. I swear to God, I love me some sexy. Bro, let me tell you, they focus in on her, but what I did see yesterday was a lot of memes with him with gold teeth, do-rags on, shadow fade, but let me be real, the politically correct, it's, they have a right to be, the estate itself has the right to be upset about their loved ones and how their loved ones are portrayed in a meme. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. I got, that's like if somebody did something with EIE or Ray Sean and
Right.
did something, I'm a lose it. But it's Sexy Red. She got to be the most ratchetest thing about a St. Louis that then hit the industry since Little Kim was squatting, you know what I'm saying, and that cheetah print. And I love her nasty, dirty ass. I swear to God, I risk it all behind that little thing right there. I want to hit that little shit.
I'm dead. Uno, what are your thoughts?
I love his pauses, bro. I love the homie pauses.
I just think, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't know what the uproar is. Like, can you elaborate on the uproar? It's just the picture.
I mean, it's the typical. To me, it's the typical virtue signaling. Like people expect better from her.
Nigga, she has lip gloss labeled after STDs, gang. Like,
yeah.
She's on video talking about she burns niggas. She don't give a fuck. Like, what we talking about? Like, that's what sexy is.
What do you expect from her, bro?
And that's where I'm coming from with it. Is like, yo, anyone that would name their lip gloss discharge, yellow discharge or whatever.
No. Gonorrhea was the coldest.
Yeah, like what do
and
we
my thing, though,
booty hole brown lip gloss?
The thing that got me tripping, it's not even really this. It's OG. What's up with you? You let her you crash out for sexy?
Yeah, bro. Let me tell you. Let me tell you something.
I can put you onto something that ain't. You know what I mean?
Listen,
Come on, gang.
Listen, don't put me on to nothing. You gotta understand when you do 16 years in the pen and you out here at 51 like you 19. Cause I'm living wild and reckless. Cause I want all the nasty shit. I want all the headaches.
Niggas, she talking about burning niggas, cuz.
Man, that's just the what?
She just playing her. She just playing.
My thing is, either way, people is getting burnt out here. At least she's saying it. I mean, me and her not even running in the same circle, so I'm not too worried about it. But
no, I'm talking about from my nigga. He said
he want me to do better.
Because he's willing to do this with the shit we know. I ain't talking about the shit we don't know. My nigga talking about he willing to do this with the shit we know. And he putting on the years in the pen. My nigga out. Like, we good. You know what I mean?
That's demon behavior. That's demon behavior. Kilo Tay in the chat. What's good? Thank you for joining Remy's Crate and 805 Entertainment. Laughing at the picture. Real quick though, says, how do y'all feel about the Spider-Man animation? If you're talking about Into the Spider-Verse, I think that's the best thing Sony ever did. Katie Lou, thank you for joining. Please share the stream.
I agree. And part 2 was even better. And once I got my glasses, see, like KO didn't know, I was blind for a whole year. I went back and watched them. Once they fixed these eyes, I must have watched that shit like 5 times.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, just seeing Spider-Man 2099 in any form on film is nuts to me. Like, I never thought I'd see that shit. I have issue number 1 for that shit, and like that is crazy. When you like see something from number 1 go to film, it's just is different. 805 Entertainment says, just got to work. Y'all run this shit up for me so I have something to laugh my ass off to and play back. Lord, don't lag on posting this shit. I got you.
You talking like you? Hold on, let me check.
Hey,
That's
man, hey,
Jenny.
slow
I
down,
fuck with
man.
Jenny. I fuck with
Hey,
Jenny.
hey,
I fuck
slow
with
down,
Jenny.
Base
man.
joined the chat
I'm just
and
saying,
she
you
said, "Love
talking
y'all.
like
Catch y'all tomorrow."
I fuck
She
with
just
Jenny,
left,
but
so you.
damn, where my tacos at, gang? Like
Oh shit.
you talking crazy? Like
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Let me know if y'all can hear this. Sounds like Apple Music is about to get into the radio game. This is coming from the Mizza. I definitely want to get Uno's industry analysis on this shit. Let me know if
Damn.
you can hear this.
No, we can't hear it.
I'm sitting there
Yeah.
watching this.
yeah,
Oh, there we
Going,
go.
just call me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I built the most successful radio brand in history, but this just, this is what is so crazy about radio. They're so out of touch that you got the guy that built the thing sitting on the bench going, guys, I can help you do it. Do you remember Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory when the fat kid is drinking the chocolate and Willy Wonka's sitting there like, stop, no, don't. You can have the whole factory. Just don't. Oh, there you go through the pipe. Take him down to squeezing. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Anyways. I'm sorry. I went off
I'm
on
gonna
a
let it loop back so we hear the
tangent there.
beginning.
But
I'll
anyways,
stop it when it hits the loop point.
are you seeing all this news with Elon Musk? I mean, oh my God.
Oh shit.
Crazy start to a crazy year. Yeah. It's so funny. I finally got to this article a friend sent me from the Los Angeles Times about radio and how Apple is going to do live radio. The funniest thing is, I'm sitting there watching this going, why don't you just call me? Do you know what I mean? Like, I built the most successful radio brand in history, but this just
Let's talk about, so he's coming at it from more of a like, why is he not involved? But I do think Apple Music getting into live radio. So the difference between, like, there is Apple Radio and Beats Radio, but that's more on demand. It's more like a continual playlist that you got to go to on your phone. He's saying that Apple is getting into live radio, like not like 106.1 FM, where it's 24 hours a day. There's DJs, you tune in all the time. It's not on demand. I've been saying that radio needs to switch to the phone from the beginning. I think that, like, there's something really special about radio to me. There's something special about not knowing what song is coming on next and having to wait to hear that song, and like finding the DJ that you know what I'm saying, that you resonate with, who has a dope mix show. But I do think that radio is built for a local environment, so I don't know how that, because that's what makes radio special, is like you hear a mix show DJ in your town that does something that no other mix show DJ does because this resonates in your town. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you accomplish that with Apple Music, but I do think it's an interesting venture for them. Uno, what do you think?
Yeah, explain to me. I guess I'm kind of lost with what does he mean? Because they kind of like they have that already. Like as far as not with DJs, but they have it as like as spinning. So they're just adding the implementing DJs to it. Is that the difference?
So I'm guessing that, so the radio that I know about, like Apple Radio, Apple Music,
Well,
is
because they
is
have
that's
like Apple Station, right? So which is
right,
the
but
same
that's
thing.
more like algorithmic. It's still pulling from Apple Music. This
Okay.
would be pulling from a radio antenna. They'd probably have advertising on there like radio does.
Okay.
It's probably going to be mixed shows or something similar like that, like
Okay.
more like radio but through streaming services, which
Yeah.
hasn't been done yet.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk on him first while I digest the information in my head. I don't know what the fuck. That nigga, anybody who's yelling, and I had to stop doing this, I had to learn. Any nigga who's yelling about not being a part of something, that's the reason why you're not a part of something. Like, you can be super intelligent and know what you're talking about, but if you're difficult to work with, then people don't want to work with you. So you yelling about how niggas ain't calling you because you made radio. Well, there's a reason why niggas ain't calling you if you the nigga making the video yelling about not being involved. You can't hold water. So I ain't gonna get you involved in nothing where you gonna be spilling that. That's just how I personally feel about business. And then on the radio shit, I think it's fire. Like I don't see the benefit of it really. I don't see like what you're doing other than breaking more DJs. Like, but if the world is switching to if the world's already in the digital format, then you're kind of just doing the same thing that we're kind of already doing, which is just shuffling the music anyway. So like what is prioritized over what isn't in your playlist versus your radio station. So I think there's really no benefit of it to me. I just think the benefit of it would just be breaking DJs really and advertisement, which is more money to pay for Apple. So I could give two fucks about that because that ain't nothing for me personally.
Remy's Crate on Instagram says, to me, there needs to be better access to have similar radio stations with more niches. Most radio is super mainstream and boring. I miss when it felt more like watching scheduled TV programs. Big Mike, what are your thoughts on this?
Man, I don't know. I agree with both y'all, man. I'm been turned off of radio for a long time, man. Love streaming, love going right to what I go to, and like when I go to big cities and turn on the radio just to get a break from a playlist or something, man, it seems like they're playing something outside of their area anyway. So how it's gonna play out? But like he said, man, if you're yelling like, "Why you not picking me? Why you not picking me?" That's why they're not picking you. Sit your ass up. If they needed your help and you that qualified, they'd have been came got your help.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate though. I'm gonna play devil's advocate because there's been plenty of times when I've heard people who are deserving speak up for themselves, and I didn't feel bad about it. Uno, I've heard you do that a couple times. You feel what I'm
Sure.
saying? And I think that when it comes to radio, Demiza is legendary. Like Power 106 would not have had the heyday that it had without Demiza. He was the program director. Like the whole Shade Shy Snake Dogg era, that was
Yeah,
him breaking records. I do I do see why. Like, and I'm of course I don't work at Apple. I don't know shit about their inner operations, so I'm just speculating. But though as much as he talks negatively about streaming services in
yeah,
general, see why someone like Apple Music wouldn't call him for radio, because at the end of the day there's still a streaming service, and you have like your whole platform is about how independent artists don't need streaming services. So I can see why they wouldn't partner with him. But on the radio side of things, like he knows what the fuck he's talking about. But the bottom line is like he's talking about radio from a programmer who loves music standpoint, right? And radio hasn't been about music for the longest time. Radio has just been about markets and ad share, and that's it. Like, and that's I like back in the day radio. I love back in the day radio that was about half marketing and half music. So when you went to Houston, you would hear songs you wouldn't hear nowhere else. I lived in San Francisco in 2000, and when you would hear Richie Rich, like he was a goddamn rock. Like if you didn't live in the Bay, if you lived in the Bay, you would think Richie Rich was an international megastar. They played that song so much. You feel what I'm saying? Like you would think Kick the Sneak was an international megastar. Like, and then when you left the Bay, you'd be like, why are they not playing this? Why are they not playing this? Because the radio had such a chokehold. When I was in Miami, when DJ Khaled first started coming up, you would think DJ Khaled was already a rock star the way he is now. Back then, when he was on the radio, same with Ludacris in Atlanta. A lot of our stars come from radio, and that's because they brought the regional sound to the national stage. And I do think that radio is uniquely positioned to do that. I don't know if Apple Music is going to be programming radio like that, but I do think that if they do have regions in mind, like if there's West Coast radio, West Coast Apple Music radio, down Texas Apple radio, I think that could get really, really interesting.
What I think that they're gonna do, I mean, I don't know. I didn't look into it too much, but I think just a smart business move off of my top of my brain would just be simply buy not buy but partner up or get a licensing deal where you have the actual radio stations that are already popping. So if you're actually trying to highlight radio stations not being in the car where they're still accessible to people,
Mhm.
like then I can understand that and I can get that because now you're just funneling bread that's already being created, but now you're making it have leverage and dominance. So I can get that for sure. I just if you're just gonna create your own radio station and try to be in competition with FM and AM, I just and Siri and all that shit, I'm confused. Really, I'm confused.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's it's up in the air. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I think it's interesting. I mean, Apple's rich enough to buy. I mean, iHeartRadio owns a majority of the FM antennas, but there's a bunch of independent radio stations. Like Wild 106 is independent. Uh, the Beat 95.7 in Santa Maria is independent. So if Apple comes in and buys these little stations and turns those into Apple radio stations,
Right.
what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Like that puts a music industry in small towns that never had one before, where
which is kind of what I think is kind of similar to what I was saying, which I agree with 100% versus creating competition within that,
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna create my own big boy.
Yeah, I feel that. I think that can make things really
versus
interesting.
I just buy big boy.
Right. Because big boy gonna tax you, but making the big boy, it's gonna take more time, but it's gonna, I think, be a bigger return and less money at the end of the day. Roz Montgomery in the chat. Sabrina crazy as fuck in the chat. She said, I'm crazy as fuck. Okay. Real quick though, says, I always felt like radio be late on a lot of music. I think that's what killed radio, is that, we can get things instantly. Like it was really weird when radio was super, super late. It was really weird to be on the blogs and see something go super viral, but not hear it on the radio. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's gonna be late because you have to think about it. Before they were late, even then, it just was being pushed, and that was the only funnel to hear the new music that you didn't buy. So it was all like they were already late, but now shit is on DSPs, nigga. It's on my phone, nigga. So yeah, you hella late now because I got it yesterday.
Yeah, they're not as late as they used to be, but they're still too late. I mean, yeah, we wake up and get it, so they're still later than us, no matter what. DJ The Prince says most of the major stations are under iHeart. Yeah, man, like, and that's the thing, like the fucking
but they have their own app, and niggas don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm confused, low key.
Well, this is the thing. People think niggas don't give a fuck, but I've been doing a lot of research.
Niggas give a fuck about it. That's where a lot of our people listen to our podcast. I was shook. I was like,
yeah, what? Like 55% of Gen Z. So Gen Z is like one of the youngest generations, like one of the youngest generations with disposable income. Gen Z, 55% of Gen Z listens to the radio every single day. Still, that's a lot of fucking people that listen to the radio on a daily basis. So to downplay, a lot of them say that that's their number one source of music, is listening to the radio. So you can't, streaming is a monster and it's a beast, but it's starting to plateau, and the number one way for people to listen to music is still the radio. So I can see why Apple Music is looking that direction. Sir Wheezy just hopped in the chat. L5V Skies just hopped in the chat. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna play a record, and then we're gonna talk about this Mambo